So, let me double check. We got the here, 1, 2, and then so around uh later in the afternoon of the second day of your travel on the 29th of Ashran, your barge filled with dead remains uh, and a captain who has been pulling longer shifts in order to get you guys safely down the rest of the river now that his co-pilot's dead, arrives in the port town or the port city of Dranice. Dranice is the third largest city in Bosmar. It is the second largest port. It is sort of, if we go, I added a documents folder for documents, letters, books. Where did I put it? Man, I thought that I put like a maps thing here. No, I guess I didn't. Region maps, activate. So you'll see here, Dranice is here, sort of this port town here, the second sort of main river that used to be the southwestern border of Bosmar, and then occupied Colmar here on the side, just sort of to get your bearings. It is a bustling port town. It's a older town. A lot of the buildings are very like older construction, kind of run down. Although in a few sections of the city, new construction is going up because they have been having a they had a boom during the early years of the war as plunder and resources as well as additional land came in from occupied Colmar, and the city sort of expanded to take the opposite bank of the river, which used to be Colmar territory as well. Uh, but yeah, you guys are here. The sort of barge docks. The captain looks at you, is like, so what? What'd you want to do with these bodies?
Well, we need to take him to the church, right? Rithmus, so they can get properly sent off. I
Okay.
mean, are you close with your coworker? Like, do you know, does he have family that we should?
I feel like that's my responsibility to take care of him as well as the rest of my regular cargo. But if you're going, I mean, if you're going to the church anyways, if you don't mind dropping him off as well, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll drop him off at the Church of Rithmus and inform them that somebody from the family will be by to coordinate funeral arrangements.
Gotcha. All right. Well, and then some porters come up, and he just pays them to unload his regular cargo and directs them towards the bodies as well, and says, "Hey, bundle these up, take them to the Church of Rithmus." And they're like, "There's what? Why are there so much old armor and skeletons?" Don't ask
It's
questions.
We,
it's we didn't pay you to ask questions.
All right.
would the Galahadrian tries to get one of your attentions.
Hmm.
He says, could the Rhythmus priests ask them, and he points to the undead body pile, what they did, why they were here, why they attacked? Could they just ask?
That doesn't sound like a thing that they could do. I don't know.
I mean, if they can make them walk, why couldn't they make them talk?
I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask, I guess, if they can help in that regard. But we should accompany the bodies to the church of Rithvis.
All right. Well, we'll get these packed up to a cart then. I mean, if you're, that's where we'd take them if things were fishy anyways. So if you're going there, sure, we'll wash our hands of it and we just take the coin and start loading up one cart with your stuff and then another cart with the legitimate goods that are unrelated to whatever you guys have been doing.
Right.
As this is all going on, Phelan's like, I'm gonna go and do some research in the town while you do your other stuff. Wink, wink. But what? We'll meet up at a tavern some after that and convene. All right, later.
All
And he
right.
just takes off.
Bye.
Yep.
Yeah, let's get rid of this body pile as soon as possible. I think that's our first order of business. Is the Church of Rithmas church temple? Do we normally would call them one
It
or
is
the
a
other?
cathedral. It is a
Cathedral.
cathedral in this town. You would know that this, since Dranice is such a large town, it does have a cathedral. The person who runs the church in the town is still a bishop, but they are a bishop of a town as opposed to a bishop of like an entire county like area. Uh,
Okay.
they're technically of the same rank, but since they administer such an important location, they're like de facto higher ranked in like prestige compared to the bishops that you dealt with back in Pontem.
Okay. I think you posted something in the chat about this bishop, right?
I posted the three bishops and the local countess.
It's the head of it's Sindrin Dawnspire.
Mhm.
Heavily involved in increasing the creation of undead from the war in Colmar and has strong ties to the Avenchi Regency.
And this is stuff that you would just
No.
like. There's some common knowledge. There's other stuff that you just know because you grew up in the local politics.
Right.
So you've met these people before. You would know what they look like. They wouldn't necessarily know what you look like because you're just like a branch family of a Castellan. So
Right. Um, okay. See, not very many humans in this leadership list. Um,
the two half elves are primarily human.
right.
It's just the yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna drive the cart with the bodies covered in a blanket to the cathedral. Is there? I assume there's a place where it's like you're supposed to drop off dead bodies. Is there
Uh
like a
yeah, like a mortuary
a
sort of thing.
mortuary type area?
You're
Yeah.
yes. It's not something you've ever had to do.
I guess
Uh
we go to the cathedral and then we can ask like a an
yeah.
usher or somebody where the mortuary is.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you wheel it over there. As you guys are going along, like you stopped in the upriver sort of harbor district, like the first port that you could get off of while going down where the barges are, as opposed to the main harbor where there are ships.
Right.
The cathedrals are sort of closer to the downtown area where the main harbors are, uh, and they're in just like want to call it a square because it's a triangle. Most major urban centers are triangles in Aventicum because they are situated at the intersection of the cathedrals. Uh, as you are going towards it, you can definitely see which one is of Rithmus because of the distinctive blue colorations of like any tile work and such. The much more opulent, like white marble. Sometimes of even this cathedral even has gold trim that catches the light on the spires and such. Uh, Very much the hallmark of the cathedrals of Rithmus. Uh, as you make your way towards it, just sort of looping around through the harbor district, there is a large cart that's coming down. You would presume off of a ship and towards the cathedral, uh, and it does have like a large tarp over it. Uh, but is being wheeled in the direction like people are shouting to make way for it. Your cart has to stop as it wheeled by. It is sort of flanked by laborers and such, but also a few priests of Rithmus, but in a older timey, like a more traditional uniform, or like frocks and stuff of the clergy that Abel and especially Alina would recognize as Regency clergy.
Alina would dip her head in respect as they pass.
They sort of look at you and acknowledge, dip that head as well. They're just sort of eyeing the crowd, more making sure that people aren't getting crushed by this giant wagon and such.
By
More,
a bigger pile of bodies.
That's what
it
I
is
thought.
the tarp goes up probably about like 10, 12 feet. Like it'd need to be a decent. You can't see what's underneath the tarp, but you would imagine if you stacked bodies that high, that you can make a perception check if you guys want to see if you can like catch a glimpse of something underneath the tarp.
Can I use my divine sense?
Yeah,
Oh,
you can.
nothing.
Nothing. The
I-
tarp is very secure. Okay, and you're just using divine sense that just lets you just sense things.
It lets me sense the presence of uh, good and evil, essentially.
Okay.
Fae, fiend, and undead.
So Abel, you can see as the cart is going by, like a gust of wind, like blows like a flap of the tarp, and you catch a glimpse underneath of what looks like just like a solid impression. Like all that you see underneath the tarp is one solid stretch of something, but it is the color of you're quite now familiar with, sort of like bleached bone, but like much bigger than what a human bone should be. Uh, and Galhadjian, you get a huge. This in the entire thing on the cart is one giant undead, and it is a like large size undead.
Wow. That sounds like it'd be really cool to fight.
Am I familiar with? And you can make me roll for this. Um, like undead, other than just like zombies and like your basic kind of things, like
You can roll for it. Alina would just know if somebody points it out to her.
so 12.
That's not really in
Okay.
the area that you've been in. Like there's stories and such of like monster stories or whatnot. Nothing that you would necessarily think credible. It's not like your area of expertise.
Right. It's
Did
like
you point
Uh,
it out to me?
I'm gonna say there's some big bones under there.
Yeah, I'm stage whispering it. There's a large companion of the knights we encountered earlier, of a similar fiend.
Alina, you would sort of put two and two together. This is a fairly common thing that is used in the duchies. If it's a large bone construct, it's probably a corpse collector, which is just a massive bone golem that are just sent out onto battlefields after fights happen, and they just collect the corpses back up to bring for zombifying work.
I explained this.
Oh,
Hmm.
These are
those never made it into the stories I heard. Those weren't in there.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and Abel, these things aren't really. It's not done as much. You haven't heard of them being done in Bosmar.
it seems like a sound concept from I think my character's perspective. Um, like since undead are labor-saving devices, automating the creation of undead in that way makes sense. Um, it's passing strange that there's one here though. Like, are they expecting a battle?
I mean, there's an ongoing war that keeps on
Yeah,
going.
miles and miles away from here.
Yeah, but this is the closest port.
Yeah,
So. But
I
yeah,
believe they are just preparing him to send him to the battlefield.
I see.
I do not believe that they are expecting a battle here. They cover a lot of ground.
Hmm. Curious. So, in my head, this would still be like an escalation of the war, though, right? Like, this is literally like a monster from bedtime stories being brought to fight a war. Right, this
not
is
even just to fight. From what Alina's telling you, to like harvest the results of further bloodshed.
right.
I don't think what I have heard of or have seen in my time at the duchies. These things fighting, or
Uh,
are they peaceful?
they have combat capabilities. to discourage other houses from trying to steal the corpses they've collected. So they're not used in warfare, but they're also not necessary. They're not to be messed with either.
They're not soft targets.
They're not soft targets. No, they are. It's like trying to attack an armored van. Like, yeah, they will defend themselves competently if needed. But they're from Alina's from what Alina would have heard from, and her family probably had like one. They're not easy to come by. But they're also expensive to make, so you don't want to put them into combat. That's a waste of resources.
Oh, I also would like to, when the day starts, when we are getting off the boat, I want to give everybody a pep talk and go over the plan with them all, so I can do my inspiring leader thing.
Yeah, certainly
Okay.
can.
I just wanted to note that before we got too deep into it.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be we're level 4, so 9 temporary hit points for everybody. And I'll do it for Phelan too, so he's safer wherever he
Yeah.
is.
And you guys got a long rest as well. So.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I just didn't want to run into combat and then have you be like, you didn't say it, so
Yeah.
I'm saying
Well,
it now.
it's more a case of you need to put it on the character sheet. So, okay, awesome. And yeah, and that cart, it passes by rather quickly. It's headed towards the Cathedral of Rithmus. Your cart pulls in just behind it, just as you're walking and having this conversation. Because
Cool.
it cleared a big, nice path for your cart. So
Yeah, we're gonna do some ambulance chasing, I guess.
yeah. As you get closer to the cathedral, do you just follow it to wherever it's going?
I mean, I don't think that it would necessarily go to the mortuary, right? It's already animated from what it sounds like from how everybody else is talking about it. So I don't know that it would necessarily be. I don't know that where they would store it. So I guess I would still ask an usher or some
Okay.
secretary in the
A
cathedral where the
deacon?
mortuary is. A deacon,
Yeah,
thank you.
a
That's
deacon.
the word I
Yeah.
was looking for.
Yeah, you flag down a deacon who sees your cart and is just like, oh, what can I help you with?
Hi, I'm here to drop off some bodies, and I also need to make an appointment with the bishop.
Okay. What sort of bodies? Are you looking to have them animated? Are you looking to have last rites prepared for them? Are you sort of
We
transporting them
need to
someone else's
ask them some
behalf?
questions.
One of them will need last rites. Well, I guess all of them probably. I don't think that they've been properly cared for, is the problem.
Hmm.
Yeah, they appear to have.
Do you mind? And
Uh,
he sort of points.
yeah, we should probably do this in private though, if you don't mind. Is there a place where we can put the
Uh,
cart?
yes, no, of course, yes. And yeah, pull it, not usually for a cart, but there are small rooms that we have for the bereaved to come and have privacy, but they're not big enough for an entire cart. Pull it around back.
Okay.
Uh,
Yep.
As we're walking around back, I'm going to pull him to the side. As we're walking, I'm going to step up to the deacon and be like, there is some unsettling things about these bodies.
do a persuasion check for me.
I'm not lying.
That's why it's a persuasion,
I
not a
know,
deception.
but I'm bad.
Yes, there's always something unsettling about dead bodies, but we must remember that death is what is promised to us, as well as the life afterwards in the Trinity's embrace. Just keeps on going.
She rolls her eyes. I don't think she could roll her eyes harder.
Well, so yeah, brings you sort of around, sort of stops the cart, just like in between some other structures or whatnot, near where like the mortuary section of the cathedral is, and he sort of stops, picks up the tarp, just looks at him, like, well, I think I can guess which one needs the last rites. What are these? Are older? You grave robbers? Are you trying to... We
They
don't put
attacked
a
us.
bounty. They attacked you.
Yes.
Yes.
If you'll take a look at the seal, or the crest, on their armor.
Yes, I'm familiar. House Seabreeze. They've been gone for quite some time.
Yeah, funny. They attacked us yesterday.
Looks, you've already made a persuasion check. He's not really.
Yep.
So go,
Well,
Abel.
now
Go
I'm
ahead.
Okay.
Abel or
spicy about it.
Galahadran,
I can make a persuasion check, sure.
or Marrow if Marrow wants to make a persuasion check.
Can I help?
I was
I
like,
can
sassy
talk about
pants.
our great battle that we had with them, and I can demonstrate the sword play.
Yeah.
Woo, we suck. We're doing it. We're doing a great, have a great time.
Listen,
Woo.
Well, I have advantage
sometimes
from Galahadran. I get a 26 between me and
Hell yeah.
Galahadran.
Okay, so he sort of looks at you, is like, that is odd. And you said you wanted to meet with the bishop?
Well, I thought it best that they were informed of uh, these events. If somebody is animating dead in such a careless fashion, that would be, I think, within the church's bailiwick. Yes,
Ah, potentially. Let me go and escalate this and get a father first. I believe the bishop is quite busy.
of course.
But this definitely deserves higher attention than just me. If you hold here for 1 second, he motions over the two guards who are watching. It's like, hey, yes, you two. Make sure that no one touches this cot or bothers these folks. And goes in. Comes back out a few minutes later with a male human, balding and such, in robes of Rithmus, is just like, so the deacon was just explaining that you were attacked by some zombies dressed in regalia of the House of Seabreeze?
That's correct, Father. Yes.
Yeah, let me take a look here. That is peculiar. Where did they attack you?
We were traveling down the river on a barge. That's this unfortunate fellow here was one of the pilots.
I see. Uh, and is this poor soul in any way connected to the rest of or was he just
No.
an unfortunate victim?
As far as we
Let's
know, he's an unfortunate victim.
all right.
So
Let's
he
let's let's get him settled. Gods, and he sort of points. So bring him to the mortuary. Do you know his name? If he has any next of kin?
Wait,
The
yeah,
barge captain would have told you what you needed, and
yeah,
you
I
get that.
figured. Yeah.
He gets that. The deacon takes notes, and he's like, okay, you take care of him. Uh, if you can just let me know, confirm cause of death, and such, and then get him sorted. So he looks over to the rest and it's like, these are some old bones. He sort of runs his hand over him, casts some identification magic and such, mutters under his breath. Well, yes, these were raised. They were properly consecrated. Uh, yes. No, I don't see anything about them that would dissuade your story. It's very obviously not properly marked with a house who owns them, as you can tell they're dressed in a defunct house's markings. If you don't mind me asking, who are you all? Why do you think they would attack you?
Well, I am Sir Abel Whitewater. So as you know, the sea breezes were wiped
Yes.
out by my family. So,
Yes, you're by Count Blackbriar, I believe was the one who took out the Marquis, but I believe that House Whitewater and the other houses of the Marquis Velicanth were there as well.
yes. Um, so this isn't the only indication that that we've seen so far that House Seabreeze is currently active. And
Well,
I'm
let us here come to my office instead. We'll
okay.
talk about this later. Depending on what you say, I might And he goes over to another deacon and is like, see what the bishop's schedule is. She can fit something in. She might need to be present for this.
Mhm.
And he takes you into the cathedral, gets you, teas and all that
Right.
stuff. Uh, the inside, for the people who are not used to Aventicuum society, the inside of the churches of Carrick is mostly like wood and carvings and pastoral scenes and agriculture and animals and such like that, like very you know salt of the earth husbandry sort of things. The cathedrals of Felmar are like art galleries and libraries. They have, sculptures and such. Not opulent, but very much more artistic, but also works of blacksmithing, like swords and shields and such. And then, of course, libraries full of tomes. The Cathedral of Rithmus is just like a bank or a courthouse. Just like very opulent yet austere. Just, polished, shining marble, gold trim and such, like busts, and the art would be like, marble busts, tapestries depicting scenes on the walls. There's a lot of framed papers that, upon closer inspection, are like old historic contracts that most of you can't make out what they're actually, supposed to be doing, and such. Uh, and he leads you into like back through a maze of almost office cubicle like with various rooms off to the side, where people are priests are with quills having meetings, writing down business, just conducting much more administrative and clerical work than you would have seen uh, in the other sort of churches and cathedrals that you've come across. Brings you into the office. He has a pot of like tea and some like biscuits and stuff called in for you guys to sort of snack on as you sit down. And he's like, okay, so uh, Sir Whitewater, and then sorry, I didn't catch your name. Uh, does the dog need to come with you?
Yes, they do.
She growls.
Oh, very, very well. As you're a lord, you can do what you wish as long as it does not cause problems. I didn't get your names as well, good sirs. Sort of
Uh,
gestures toward, yeah.
I am the Summer Knight, Galahadrin the Green.
Yeah, Galahadrin. I'm not aware of the House of Summer, but it's a thing. And you?
I am Sir Alina Katala.
Okay. Uh, again, a house that I have not heard of. I assume that you are vassals of House Whitewater.
No,
No,
just friends.
I'm an errant knight.
Ah, okay. Doesn't know what to do with any of that. It's like, so why do you think it was that these former members of House Seabreeze were sent against you?
Well, I would consider it just a coincidence. Somebody who was making use of what materials they had at hand. Um, but as I said, this is not the first time that I've seen evidence of House Seabreeze still being active in some capacity. Um, my companions and I were protecting the small village of Creek near the Garin Woods, and the goblins uh, that attacked that village um, were prompted by this, and I'm going to pull out the letter that we found that's got the seal of House Seabreeze on
Yep.
it and
So
show it to him.
yeah, it looks it over. It's like, oh, that does look like an official seal of House Seabreeze. Huh.
So now, once I could consider to be a coincidence, twice, that's starting to form a pattern. I'm watching
Yes.
out for the third time. Everything comes in threes, you know.
Yeah. Yes. No. Indeed. Indeed. Very peculiar. Very peculiar. So, do you know why they would attack you specifically, Sir Whitewater? Are you? I don't believe that you have heir to your house. I'm not familiar with your name specifically. Why would you and your companions here? Would any of you be a target instead?
Hmm. Not that I'm aware of. Nylena, Galahadrin, I don't think you have any specific enemies in this land.
I mean, the enemy of good.
Yes, usually people need
Ne'er
something
ne'er do
more
well.
than just being an evil person as a motivation to attack somebody.
um, I don't believe I have any enemies.
I mean,
At least not here.
it could also be that the two instances are not unconnected. That whoever it was that was responsible for the goblin attacks, masquerading as House Seabreeze, um, also was upset at our interference and foiling of their plans. And so, rather than me specifically, it was us as a group that they were after.
Well, I would imagine if Creek is one of the lands that your house administers, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong,
That's right.
uh, if they were doing something to attack one of your vassal territories and then attacked you within your territory or just outside of it, leads me, I would imagine that they're trying to attack someone of House Whitewater. Uh, believe that you've suffered a similar attack previously. Another member, some members of your house were killed earlier in the war. I believe.
Yes, that would be my parents and my sister.
Oh, my
Although,
apologies. Do
out
you
of
think there's any connection?
um, I'm trying to remember out of character. I don't think that we had any evidence as to who specifically did it, did we? It was
You
just
got no. You got
yeah,
nothing. They were just dead bodies.
yeah,
Your parents were found dead, and your sister's body was never found.
right. Uh, we never had any evidence of who was responsible. Um, so it's possible that it's the same party, but
Hmm.
I wouldn't assume that at this moment in time.
Very well. I can't think of any other recent attacks or enemies besides those caused by the war. No, no feuds or such. If this is a feud between nobles, then the Church of Rithmus will definitely take offense to you know unregistered and sort of obfuscated ownership of undead. But if it's just a rivalry between houses, that is not really our place to interfere. Must have you know. Please
Hmm.
do not think you can drag us into your quarrels. I would caution.
Of course not.
That being said, if it is a enemy of Bosmar, I am still. While the church does try to maintain neutrality, we are part of the nation, and your success is our success and such. So we would, if this is a foreign threat, we would be remiss to ignore it. Uh,
Well, certainly on the face of it, whoever it is flying the flag of House Seabreeze as it is, so they are at least pretending to be Colmarin.
and that is what I worry about. That this might be thing. I don't know how they would have gotten a hold of a seal of House Golmari. Those are usually try to be confiscated and such, but there are many of them. It's easy to slip through the cracks. The letter itself is nonsense. They're promising to make a goblin a duchess. It's
Of course,
yeah.
yes. That part is
Uh,
clearly nonsense.
What?
yes.
Um, so there were some other more concerning things with the events in Creek that might lead me to believe that there's more behind this. Um,
Okay. Yes.
so one of the targets in the raids was the Shrine to Carrick in Creek, the Imperial era shrine.
Oh, how dreadful.
Yes, but it was specifically desecrated by the goblins, uh, not just incidentally destroyed. It was one of their primary objectives, as far as we could tell.
Mm.
So whoever this is, if it is the same person, or persons, group of people, whatever, what have you, they are targeting the church as well.
Well, that is. Have have the goblins been dealt with?
Yes, we dealt with the goblins.
Okay. So, but whoever was egging them on, yes. If there's a party that is going around destroying historical religious sites, it's definitely something that the church cannot allow.
Um, I do not know how much we can speak on this, but we also have come across some evidence, and correct me if I'm wrong, of some sort of, not only of Carrick, but also of the other two branches. There seems to be some sort of, well,
Corruption.
corruption
Sort of looks at you
of.
like, what kind of corruption? Is this an allegation? So just
There would
like
have to be someone to.
the temperature in the room just sort of goes down a few notches as he is trying to figure out what you mean by that.
We have seen several instances of what could be called religion, and it could be called our religion. However, it is changed.
Sort of like they took the religious text and they added some, and I don't just mean that in metaphor. We did find one of those.
You mean less corruption and more heresy?
Yes.
Less for taking of bribes and less for,
Unorthodoxy.
underhand
Yes.
favors and such, and more heretical. Okay, yes. Have you and you have witnessed this in all three branches, or just
We witnessed it in
one?
2, correct?
Ooh, yes.
Just one, right?
Let's see. Well, of course, the
Right. Well, obviously Tarek, but who was the other one?
I
'Cause
think you guys were speculating
We
about.
speculated
speculated
about
this was the
Rithmus.
second one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We speculated that these guys, but we don't know for sure.
So that we did find the writings of what I can only describe as a madman. He was a father in Creek.
Did you report him to the bishop in Pontem?
We dueled him to the death.
Oh,
We also reported him to the bishop.
And then we did report him.
there
Yes.
is a better order to those things, but that is not my purview. I'll
He
leave that.
tried to kill us.
It's not my place to judge in those. The Bishop of Carrick will do with that as they will. Although I will note, as a sort of firm of policy and courtesy, if you find the same within the House of Rithmus, let us know before you murder any of our clergy. It's frowned upon. Well, that might be
Well, do
one
you
thing. If you
suspect
murdered a clergyman, do you suspect that some of their flock or followers might be acting against you now? That's a serious step to take.
Undoubtedly. But what was your name?
This is Father Marsh.
Father Marsh. Do you think that there is some sort of could be heresy in your church here? Anything
In my
suspicious?
of course, no.
Yes.
No, it's an absurd thing to think. Heresy is not something that we tolerate and that we root out whenever found, but it's to say that it would be found rarely would be an overstatement. It's
But they
just not
would be
something that's
very
done.
good at hiding it. Right? They could cook the books.
So it
I
looks at you
mean,
and it's like,
there's a
what
big pile of bodies out there, and they're in armor they shouldn't be, right?
we that there's nothing to that pile of bodies that it indicates heresy. Corruption is another matter. There are internal audits and such. If we find that a member of the clergy has been conducting the creation of undead outside of the authorization of the church, then we will definitely punish them accordingly. But there's a difference between corruption and heresy. One is a sort of mortal civil sin. One is a holy, a damnation of the soul, if you would. There's a. I must. Are you from Avency? You look like you're from the woods.
You could say that I'm from the woods. I'm from Summer.
It's of course you wouldn't understand. Yeah, those are different concepts. I would have your companions explain it to you at some time.
Yes. Please.
No, I understand a corruption of the self. I mean, they feel like they're the same thing to me. Just, you know,
We're
the
getting off
twisting of the
topic.
values.
Yes.
Yes.
I've my companions. I've found myself with in these some strange times with strange companions, whom I must note have saved my life. So I do trust them, but they are quite strange. So please forgive them.
You've said we're strange
That's not
3
my
times.
place. It's not my place to judge. And at this time, a knock comes at the door. Says, yes, come in. And a deacon comes in, hands him a paper, and then excuses themselves, and leaves. It's like, Oh my, so it looks like you were accosted by two squadrons, including two white. This was a considerable investment in your demise. And you fended them off with only one casualty?
It was a close run
Yes.
thing, but yes.
That's quite impressive. If these are, yeah, if I will, my remarks on strangeness seem to be remiss. If this is what you're capable of, then you're definitely competent, all appearances aside. Well done. Uh, but yes, whites. We can track down. I can see if there are any that we have made who are unaccounted for, but I don't think that would necessarily pinpoint where these two came from, especially if they were made outside of the church's purview.
Uh, excuse me, Father. I have a
Yes.
question for you. And forgive me, I do not. I come from a place where we use Rhythmus a lot. In house wars.
The Duchies.
Yes.
Oh,
I, I, I am very well aware of the practices of Rhythmus. However, I do have a question of the policy of Rhythmus when it comes to, let's say, a house war. That because you said that Rhythmus tries to, the Church of Rhythmus tries to stay out of house wars, right?
conflicts between the noble houses are not something that the church needs to concern itself with as long as the populace themselves are not dragged into it. Or at least here in civilized countries such as Bosmar, which, when I say this, please understand, I grew up on the border of Lothmar, near the duchies, so I'm moderately familiar with how they administer themselves, and I do not consider that a part of civilized Aventicuum, if you would. My apologies if that offends you, but that is just my experience
Oh, my whole
growing up.
family was murdered. Basically my whole family was
Oh,
murdered. It
yes, as
happens.
I kind of
Well,
assumed that's why you found your way here. Uh, but yes, no, here in Bosmar and in other civilized areas, uh, feuds between noble houses are, of course, discouraged by the nobility who rank above them. It is a lawless practice. It is boorish behavior. It is not something that is tolerated, and as such, the church lays our hands off of it. We prefer to let the royal family and the Marquis deal with those such conflicts. And using undead
I
would be not necessarily worse than using mercenaries or house soldiers. Just it's not meant to be done,
I
regardless
can
of
understand.
weapons.
I do have a hypothetical question for you, and please forgive my ignorance.
Yeah.
Say one of the higher members of the Rhythmus, of the church,
Hmm.
were to be from one of the feuding families and were to lend aid to their family in the struggle. Is that frowned upon? Is that allowed?
Uh, Abel, you would know this. I'm not sure how far through her sentence she would get before you cut it off. Uh, when somebody from a noble family joins the church, although it's very much like they're two different power structures, it's easier because of connections to get higher in the church, blah blah blah. There is supposed to be a separation of powers and status. So to accuse somebody of becoming a member of the church and then favoring their noble family is a very grave insult. Uh, so I'm not sure how soon you would notice what she's saying and if you would try to cut her off.
Um,
I said hypothetically. How dare you?
I know. The answer could be that Abel doesn't try to cut you off. I'm just letting him know.
um, I would probably jump in at the point that she was saying something because you were saying hypothetically if somebody joined the Church of Rhythmus uh, and then favored their own house, I would probably cut you off at that point and just be like, uh, members of the Church of Rhythmus uh, are. I would not pause here. I'm just because Abel's probably smoother at this than I am, because I
Yeah.
don't have 20
Yeah.
charisma.
Yeah.
um,
None of
be
us
like,
do.
yeah.
I have 8 at best.
um, um, so yeah, just be like, joining the Church of Rithmus severs all ties to your noble house. I would not consider that possibility unless I had direct evidence of that happening.
And I said
Yes.
that's why it was a question. I was unsure, like, what the rules were here.
Oh no, that
if
would
you
be
know.
a very serious accusation to make of
Why
if
did they
anyone
wipe
doing
their
such.
memories?
No, it's just not done. You're still allowed to. And again, you can ask your companions about this at length, but you're still
Mhm.
allowed to interact with and see your family. It's just favoring them, or hypothetically, the Trinity forbid, giving them unsanctioned undead to use to attack one's enemies. That would be beyond the treason. That would be an affront to the order that the Trinity enforces upon our society.
And it's never happened before.
I wouldn't say never, but when it has happened, it has been rooted out and dealt with swiftly and accordingly.
Hmm.
Yes, somebody would be risking much in order to gain that kind of advantage.
Yes, to be excommunicated from the grace of the Trinity at best. Them and their family.
Um, so yes, I think our current objective would be to identify where these unaccounted for undead creations came from, and
We can
I
we
think
can do our best, but there's not really a way to determine who made an undead. They're still wearing the trappings of a defunct house. They were not done officially, so we wouldn't be able to trace anything along those matters.
they don't have any
Uh,
paperwork or serial numbers.
no, we don't. They don't have the concept of serial numbers. They're like we will investigate to see if anything was done against proper protocols in the creation of them. I'm not sure if we'd find anything like that. I will look into it where I can, but I can't promise much. Uh, I will, however, confirm, and you can, if this is needed in any official proceedings or whatnot, that these undead that you were attacked with were not sanctioned uh, by the Church of Rithmus, that whoever was controlling or had ownership of these was doing so without the consent of the church, and thus would be uh, punished accordingly for such a transgression.
Mhm. So if
If you can find whoever did this and prove that it was them who attacked you in this way, then the Church of Rithmus would be at your side in those litigations.
This is why duels to the death happen before you catch the criminal.
well,
If
It's
that
that
is the way it works in the woods, maybe.
my friend seems to be quite enamored with the law of the jungle as opposed to the laws of Rithmus.
Well, hopefully you will have better luck in civilizing them in due time.
I mean,
uh, I'm blown away.
Are you saying that out loud, or is that
I
Tika?
just I mean I don't even know how Galahad would respond to that comment. I'm the Prince of Stubber. You just called me.
Yeah,
You're just a guy. You look like all the other guys.
yeah.
You're an NPC. How dare you speak to me that way? Don't you know who I am?
You gonna challenge him to a duel to the death?
No,
I'm just gonna put a hand on Galahad and shoulder and
I
just be like,
slowly heat up. I slowly heat up.
and I just be like, I trust Galahad with my life. I think we've learned a lot from each other in our short time together.
It's good to hear. Hopefully,
I'm
there's
gonna lean over very quietly whisper to Galahad. Your Highness, did you notice that his bald spot looks like an egg?
Do I hear that?
You
Very
and Marrow,
quietly!
yeah, you and Marrow both hear that.
All right. Well, I can see that my companions have run out of patience for this conversation. Uh, so I think we'll take our leave. We leave the dead in your capable hands, and should we come across further evidence, we will forward it to you as soon as practicable.
Of course. And let me know if you need an official statement for any judicial proceedings. We'd be happy to provide it.
Of course, thank you. Should such things occur, we will have our barrister contact you.
Very good. Trinity be with you, and
Yes.
sort of has somebody see you out.
Okay.
Did the egg comment help Galahadron
Yes.
cool?
Yes, it did. Galahadron chuckles about it.
Um,
Yeah. You guys exit I assume you exit the cathedral without further
yes.
issue or anything. Yeah.
All right. So, Galahadron, Eilina,
Who murdered your families? How come this has not come out before? Marrow, was your family killed? Balin? What about your parents?
Well, Baela's gone.
Balin's
What?
not here.
Where? I know, but I mean, he's here in the story. So who are all of your parents? Have they been murdered and their murderers haven't been caught? We can put that at the top of our quest list. We can put that at the top.
The trail to my parents and sister's murders is long gone cold. Although the comment by the father that they could be related, it does worry me.
It
Do
was the Blackbriars.
do a history check, Thur, as well. Just to, it's something that I think you would know, but I just want to think if you would remember it. Like, it's like a DC 10.
Have you ever touched briars? They
No, fuck
hurt.
off.
They
I'm
hurt.
too distracted with everything else.
A
Yeah.
briar's nature is to entangle, ensnare, and hurt. The black briars are almost certainly the cause of this.
Well, I'm not discounting that theory. I do question the steps by which you arrived at it.
I'm not wrong, though.
I didn't say that, no. We require more evidence.
And in regards to my family, to be fair, I firmly believe that both Abel and I's siblings might still be alive. I would know.
Find siblings. I'll put that on my quest list. Find
I'm,
siblings.
I've
Where would they be? Who took them?
Well, in regards to my family, Galahadron, that's just the way of the duchies. A family takes power, they rule for a time, and then another family decides it's their turn. And they come in and they murder everyone in the house.
That makes sense.
I was just lucky enough to get out.
I'm glad you did.
Me too.
And we're gonna find your brother,
Mm-hmm. Adian.
Adian.
oh,
Adian.
although I am curious, I suppose if we're going over past family history, Galahadron, are your parents and siblings all alive?
For the most part, yes. One of them is a goose, though.
I do love that, and I need to know everything about that.
You
Yes.
have a goose brother?
A goose sister. It was an incident with a sweater.
Oh,
The fiance, she spoke some words before she finished the sweater, you see. And so he remained a goose. It's the beginning of the story is that so my sister was going to be wed to a courtier outside the goblin, one of the goblin kings liaisons. How do I translate this? Anyway, the mother-in-law was jealous of the beauty of the summer princess, of course, because we are very beautiful. It runs in our genes, and so she cursed the princess to be a goose. And if the goblin princess could sew a sweater without making a noise in the meantime, then she would turn back into a beautiful summer princess. However, um, goblins are neither very good at knitting nor are they good at being quiet. So my sister is a goose.
I only have one question about that story.
Yes.
Um, so you said beauty runs in your genes. What do pants have to do with it?
Oh,
Boo.
it's a Sylvan word. It basically it's about your being, your soul, your essence. A family ties, the connection of the soul to inheritance.
And those are in your pants, and he kind of looks down at your pants.
No. It
Need to
translates
point out
more
there, you
closely
don't have a
to
concept of jean pants either.
yeah.
I know, that's part of the joke.
I know.
Inheritance. I should have said inheritance.
You could have said heritage, yeah.
Heritage, yes.
Yeah.
A blessing on our family.
Yes, I can tell you are quite beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Um,
But yes, we largely have been successful in our wars. It's a stalemate.
with a winter court, right?
Sort of, yes. It rotates.
Oh,
Galahadrian is nodding. My job is diplomatic.
I see.
I get to practice dueling, though.
Yes. Well, you've been doing pretty well, I think,
I think so too.
with both the diplomacy and the dueling. But
Yes.
definitely the dueling.
Yes. Some people here just don't have manners.
Yes, they like to accuse others of barbarism and then act with barbarity themselves. It's a disgrace. Um, they just don't know what they're missing out on.
I like to imagine Phelan's hiding. I asked him a question and he's hiding. That's in canon what's
He
happening.
left
He left
previously.
at the beginning. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna go
Oh,
shopping.
I just noticed he was gone then.
Yeah. So Abel is kind of uh, looking wistfully at Galahadrin, but then kind of shakes himself and is like, so anyway, I guess that
I
just
think.
leaves Marrow.
Yeah, there we go.
Alina is watching this exchange with one eye.
I'm sorry, what'd you mention?
Your parents, Marrow. How are your parents?
Mira's like obviously confused about the concept of parents.
You know, like a pack mate, but bigger than dirt.
Ah, my pets are gone.
Oh. Are you
That's
sad
what
about
we're.
that?
Yeah, that's
Can we
what you
find
guys are
them?
here for.
Well, I'll put it down as a maybe. We can maybe find your old pack mates.
Are they gone as in away or gone as in sleeping forever?
Well, I don't see them here, do you?
You know, that's a fair point.
Apparently, you guys are in the center square of Dranice. I think that probably took you about like an hour, so it's getting down to sunset about 7 p.m.
The
It's
shops are
time,
gonna be
team.
closed, yeah, at this point.
Dranice is a bustling city. There's going to be some shops that are open later in the evening. You probably have some time to shop and get an inn before turning in for the night. If you want to do any of that, it depends. You have time to do like one thing and then book an inn. It's
Okay.
kind of what it's come down to.
Well, I do want to do some surveillance of the building that we're gonna be in. or be doing the deal in what it was called, the Pinch Whistle building.
Pinch Whistle Imports, yeah.
Yeah. Because I guess they don't necessarily have a specific time frame of when I'm going to be here, but I'm going to assume that they have somebody watching the docks who will notice that I'm here and will expect me relatively soon. In fact, can I like make a perception check to try and see if I'm being followed?
Sure.
Oh man. Can I ask one of my companions to make a perception check to see if we're being followed? Does anybody have good perception?
Oh, I
No, but
do.
I'll look for you.
I have good perception.
I think Marrow also has good perception.
Yeah.
It's all right. Oh,
I
okay.
see
It's pretty
shops.
good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you sniff around, and there haven't been any scents that have followed you from the dock here, but you do notice that just like a little, like, a little ways down, on the corner, there are people looking at you. There is a smaller human that is just staring at you and tugging on a larger human's arm and pointing at you and mouthing some words, and the bigger human is looking at you and shaking their head. That's what Marrow notices. If he said something, I didn't hear it.
I said at who?
At you and Dirt. This tiny human is just pointing at you and trying to like tug on this larger human's arm.
I think she's just gonna lick her chops.
They tug on the arm and point more urgently.
Everything all right, Marrow?
Are you sure we can't eat them?
Yes, I'm very sure. Let's get you some food. It's getting late.
It wouldn't be heroic to eat children.
It would not. No, that's right, Galahadrin.
Who said? Mira's unsure about the commitment to heroism. She's weighing some pros and cons.
Perhaps we should get Marrow set up in an inn with
You
some
don't have
steaks.
to have hunger to want to eat something good.
The little human is now dragging the big human over towards you.
If you're sure I can't eat them, and then she just growls.
They stop and just like, they just sort of look at you and then look at the rest of the people. It's like, is your kitty nice? Can I pet the kitty?
Kitty. Huh.
No, yeah, that's not. I don't think it's a cat. I also don't think it's a dog. I don't know what it is. Pardon me, good sirs. We're just going, but my son was just transfixed with your animal.
Marrow.
Companion.
Marrow. This is Marrow.
With your marrow.
She like fake lunges at them.
And the parent grabs the child and runs. Just books it.
Stick out the arms.
Hold on.
Marrow.
You frightened that child.
That was a child.
Mira does not understand the
to run
concept of human
after.
children.
As
That was a
the
pup.
parent is running, the child's like, I want to pet the kitty!
Oh,
It's like in zoos where people will put their infants up, like their 2-year-olds up to like the tiger cage, and they're like, "Oh, the tiger likes my kid," and it's like the tiger is like, "I need to eat this thing. I want
Yeah,
to
but
put
you're
it in my
not
mouth."
in a cage. You're just out in the open.
No, but it's like the same comparison.
The parent did
Like-
not want to do that.
Yeah. There's no friendliness yet.
yes.
She hasn't worked up to that.
So I did have some shopping that I wanted to do, and I kind of want to do it before we potentially have a showdown. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get Marrow satisfied in a good spot where they can dig holes and stuff if they want to.
Well, Dirt likes the holes.
Yeah, Dirt can dig holes. Marrow can eat a steak. Go shopping and scope out the place.
Yeah, I mean, an inn would usually have, food to eat for the night, like if
Yeah.
you book rooms. So
Um, I'm trying to think if we
Fine, come on.
do we need to split up if I want to get all those things accomplished, or can I?
you have time to do a round of whatever shopping you need to do for just like basic things before like between the four of you, you could book a tavern and do some shopping for basics and then come back.
Okay.
Like if you want to find more like rarer or uncommon things and are just like can you guys double click on the various icons and you should be able to open a store window. So those are all the things that are just like generically you can go around to like different stores throughout town and find those things across various ones.
It's I'm too far away.
It's
Yeah.
not yeah, it's not letting me
Oh,
do it.
put your tokens near them.
Oh, there we go.
Didn't know that it had a range restriction. Oh.
Oh god, I don't think I have a token. Hold on. Okay.
And then those are also things that are like they're not going to run out of stock of any of those with
Yeah.
the gold you have. So
Okay.
I want to find a blacksmith, but it's not really for shopping purposes.
yeah,
But
if it's more of a conversation, if that's the one thing that you want to do specifically, you certainly can. And you can
because I
split
think
yourselves. Abel can do shopping. Somebody can get a tavern, and you can talk to a blacksmith. Like
have you
these
seen A
things,
Knight's Tale?
bits and pieces.
That's not gonna help me.
I'm in general aware
Really
with it. A specific reference, no.
Well, to be fair, I wanted to use a Wheel of Time reference. But I don't
Even
think you've
less
read
familiar.
those.
Even less.
Give me the Knight's Tale reference.
The Lady Blacksmith. Because what she is looking for is, especially the cherry on top of this kind of shitty day and a half. Was Meryl lunging at a child. And so no, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but Alina does not, and Alina is looking to think. And since I have blacksmith tools, and we talked about her being, I have a bunch of metal scraps. She'd want to like sort of, I don't know, find a place where she could work just for like a little bit, and it helps her think.
Yeah, there's places you can go and just like work on something for a night. There's crafting rules and there's crafting time, but if you just want to just bang out some metal for some reason just to clear your head, you can you can probably find a place that'll let you get a little
Unless,
side thing and do that.
yeah, because like in that way I could talk to a blacksmith as well, but like sort of a mini conversation. But if there's something I need to be doing that will be better for the group, then I'll do that too. But
Up to you guys.
she wants to pull a Phelan, and Phelan has already pulled a Phelan, so she can't do that.
Yeah, if you just want to go to a blacksmith and just like, hey, can I borrow, your anvil so I can, work out some stress? It'd probably give you a look, but it's like, yeah, knock yourself out.
So my question is, in the character sheet, Mero only has like 16 gold. Is that correct, or is it because Galahadon has my gold?
There have been buttons that have
Ah.
distributed the gold amongst everyone,
Hmm.
but I don't know if you have also made some choices for like, I'm an animal, I don't need the gold for this particular instance, and so somebody else has done it. I know that there, for the loot chests that have come out, there have been a button to split gold. I also think that you didn't have any starting gold because of
Oh, okay.
you're an animal.
Okay.
Like
I
the
was just
people with a
like, I
noble
can't.
background started with like 25 gold or so. So
Okay, I was like, I can't buy a single thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was intentional or.
no, I think it's just you guys haven't gotten a lot of just straight up gold from things. What should have been evenly distributed because it's literally
Okay.
a module and a button. You just literally had no starting gold, which was straight up. You got other things to start with.
So, okay. I think I'm just gonna buy this healer's kit.
Okay. Are you? I assume that you're going around with Abel doing shopping.
Sure. Yeah, probably.
Okay. So because Abel is probably helping you, assisting you in purchasing things.
I can help you with things later.
They wouldn't talk to a dog creature?
Not necessarily.
Dog creatures are normally associated with like gnolls, and I don't know how gnolls are viewed in this world.
Not favorably in the north. In the south, they don't really get gnolls too much, so they're just like a spooky tale from elsewhere. If there's just like a massive animal going around, but it's with people who are obviously knights or nobles, your people aren't going to stop you on the street and like demand to know what's going on, so to say. But it is, weird.
It's still like a little weird.
Yeah, it's still a little weird. So Alina's going to a blacksmith to pound out some stress. Abel and Mero are going shopping. So Galahadran, I guess that you're tasked with finding a tavern?
Yes, I can do that.
All right, what are you looking for?
Uh,
What
fun.
instructions has Abel given to Galahadran, if any?
I would probably give him. I assume I've been to Dranice before,
You've been
right?
to Dranice before, yeah.
And we're not paying out of pocket, right? My uncle is paying for this. This is
Your
going
uncle
on.
gave you some spending gold, but not like an extravagant amount.
Okay. So I assume that I know of an inn that would be within budget for our party.
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
So I guess I'll give Galahadran directions and the money that my uncle gave me to pay for the inn, and be like, go and get us some rooms.
The upside down tortoise.
That's right. That's the place. If you
Oh.
just
Okay.
go down this street, go 5 blocks, and then take a left, go 4 blocks, and you'll be there.
All right, I'll find this. Galahadran sprints off to do it.
All right. Yeah, you eventually come to an inn. It's a bit off out of the downtown area. It's okay. You go in. It's there's a half the tables are full. It's not really very boisterous or rocky. It's also not really run down or anything. There's a lady behind a counter who's just like, oh yeah, what can I do to help you?
I'm here to get a room.
Oh, just one room.
Uh, yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Very
Just
well.
one room,
All right.
but a big one.
Oh, how many you need? You need 2 beds.
Yeah, that should be fine.
All right, 2 beds. There you go. And they
There was no
give you the
instruction for
money, chase
this.
it. And it's like, all right, here's your key. Dinner's on the house. We're just getting ready. That's going in full swing. So feel
Galahadran
free
looks
to
up for a
just
second when she says on the house, but he doesn't ask.
yeah. But yeah, and then breakfast again in the morning too, and let us know if you need anything. Baths are the room is upstairs. Da 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 da. Shared bath is on the far end of each hall. So yeah.
All right, fantastic.
You're welcome. Enjoy
Everybody
your
has
stay.
to get cool about things real quick.
Thank you very much for your service.
Yeah, of course.
Galahadran goes upstairs.
Yep. It's it's a room with two small beds, two small one-person beds.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Galahadrian pushes the two beds together.
Okay.
Then he's gonna go take a bath.
All right. There's surprisingly enough no line. It is just a uh tub with a bucket of water and a sponge that smells like it's been used.
Oh, that's horrible. Is this really the bathroom?
Yes.
Is there a second bathroom?
There is on the other end of the hall.
Yeah, we'll check that one.
Same. Yeah.
Sponge smells the same, huh?
It's a slightly different aroma, but similar.
These conditions might be unlivable. Um,
Do you have conjure water?
Can't Galahadron like talk to the microbes in the sponge and expel them from it, or like convince them to be something else that's better?
I
They're
if
living creatures.
I don't have anything yet that would be close. That is so good, and I love it
Bacteria
so
are
much.
neither plants nor animals. And they're also not monsters. So I'm gonna say
Well,
no.
like mold is a
Mold is a
plant.
fungus.
Listen,
Which are closely related
is
to
that
animals.
yeah? Is that not
It,
close enough? Anyway, I don't know.
I
I'm
mean,
just
I can try.
I'm just
I can feel what I think you might say, and I can try. Sponge, by the power of summer, I bid thee be clean.
Are you casting a spell or using a
No,
feature or anything?
no,
Okay.
no.
The sponge remains.
Stalwart.
Yeah.
Galahadron does not fade.
Unflinching.
Oh, but that's terrible too. I don't know.
Is it better or worse if a sponge flinches that you're about to use?
That's for somebody of the summer court, that complicates things. I don't know which one is worse.
Yes. I think Galahadron's going to jump in the ocean to
Okay.
bathe.
Uh, as you get near the river, it does not smell great.
Ah, what's wrong with water here? Just okay. But seriously, who did this to the water?
You as you're sitting there looking at the water, somebody walks like up to your side and tosses a bucket of what you just assume is like bodily fluids into the river, and then just, "Hey, good day to
Abominable.
you, sir," and then walks back to the building they just came out of.
Abominable.
So question about selling things here.
Yep.
Do I need to? Is it like video game where I don't need to care about what merchant I sell things to? I just
Yeah, they're not gonna. There's nothing yet, but you're gonna run out of gold for things. The default is just like you only get half price. Does it let you sell things to
it
this?
does. Yeah, it lets me
Do you
sell
get full
everything.
price or half price?
Half price.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Okay. Is there? Hmm. Okay. Let's see the skull goblet. So, and that I can't like negotiate the price up from there.
There are some things. So if you're selling literally like treasure or whatnot, you can try to do negotiations. There is a chance that negotiations fail and you get less for it,
Yeah.
and especially something like a skull goblet.
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at these essences, and I'm like, can I just like trade them in 1 for 1, or slightly better than 2 for 1?
Essences, you can have discussions. You can have just little sessions with. Like, it depends on what kind of essence who you're trying to give it to and what you're trying to get.
Well, I figure the alchemist would probably be the one who is most easily able to resell it. So
Okay. So what are you trying to trade to the alchemist?
I want to trade in my poisonous reagents for curative reagents, so I can brew healing potions.
Okay.
Um,
Uh, Go ahead and make a persuasion just because you're trying to, like, he stocks poisonous regions because you need that to make like antitoxins and stuff. But to just come in with a bunch of poison, and again, reagents and essence are not like you've got a bottle of dust or like some magical things. It is like, hey, these are, venom glands and stuff that you've preserved. Just like it's an abstracted concept of you have a physical item that has some sort of intrinsic magical property to it, that we're just generically calling a reagent or an
Right.
essence or
Yeah.
whatnot. So like the divine essence that Phelan pulled out of the zombie is not like pulling out a glowing spark of radiant energy. It's like, there was a holy symbol that was undamaged that was embedded in the corpse that he pulled out, and so you can use that to do stuff with.
Okay. All right. I'll roll persuasion.
How many yeah, he kind of gives you a weird look. He's like, yeah, if you got poisonous reagents, and what were you trying to give? Uncommon or common?
I both. Uh, so I guess he doesn't necessarily have uncommon. It looks like.
Yeah, that's something that you would need to look a bit, especially for poisonous. Like that gets into, like, if you've got a bunch of more potent poisonous stuff that can raise some eyebrows at the wrong place.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's their powerful chemical reagents, right? Like this is the
Yeah,
alchemist.
yeah.
So and like I don't want it. I don't have a use for poison. That's why I'm trying to get rid of it, right?
Okay, yeah. It's like, okay, fair enough, fair enough. I could probably do some things with me. Just wanna trade them
Yeah, one for one. Yeah.
one for one. Okay, and how many are you giving over?
So I've got 6 common and 4 uncommon.
All right, he doesn't really have 4 uncommon curative
Okay.
reagents.
How many
He
does he
can do the
have?
common ones.
Hmm.
For uncommon, you know what he does? He has 4.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, you guys are able to sort of do that. So let's see.
Okay.
So
So
go ahead. So that's 6. Here, so let's give you a common restorative and uncommon restorative.
yeah, so it should be 6 and 4.
Curative, uncommon curative, yeah. And then you should be able to
Wait,
adjust the counts of those.
I only have the one. So 6 common and 4 uncommon. Yep. And then just get rid of the uncommon poisonous and uncommon poisonous.
Hmm.
There we go. Okay, cool. Uh, well, I'm gonna need to buy some glass files from him then. So let's see. So a Gordo healing is 2 uncommon. So we can make 2 of those. That's 2 glass files, and then that'll take a total of 4 of my common curatives. So if I
While you
buy,
guys do some base shopping, I'm going to use the restroom really quick, so I'll
okay.
be right back.
So if I can buy 1 common curative. And then, wait, glass files. We want 4, I think.
Hey, do you guys think if I used purify food and drink on the sponge that it would make the water not gross? Since
Maybe.
it's water. I mean, I don't want to drink it. Do you think the spell knows that I'm kind of cheating? I'm not going to drink the sponge water? It would still do it though, right? What does the spell know?
I mean, it's water that you're purifying.
Yeah.
Just because something's drinkable doesn't mean it has to be drink,
Hmm.
right?
But see, anything also could be food though. So like,
No, it needs to be digestible to be food,
but
unless
like
you're like a
okay,
rock golem or something.
but like okay, so imagine you have a sick cow and it's diseased.
Hmm.
Could you use purified food?
Probably only once it's dead, because then it's food.
Not when it's alive.
No, because it's not. I mean, that's weird. That's not. You're not eating live cow. That's psychopath behavior.
What about sushi then?
I think the fish are dead.
Well, there's some where they're not. There's like the octopus
Sometimes there's
one.
like a little octopus, but like that's also weird.
It is, but could you? Yeah, I'm not disputing that. I think that that's very strange and bad. But but could you use purified food to make the octopus better?
What if octopus are immune to it?
Oh, you're right. It could be immune.
Schrodinger's octopus. It isn't
Mhm.
food at the same time.
Yeah, really wouldn't. I mean, I feel like whoever's in charge of magic ultimately gets to decide. If
Mhm.
I don't know if this world doesn't have a Mistra, really. So, which of the three gods here are in charge, or is there another better god?
Maybe the goddess
Like
sponges.
Phelan would know about the other gods, right?
Hmm.
The cooler gods. I feel like we're gonna get introduced to cooler gods, don't you guys think?
I
We
think
not?
so.
Really?
Yeah,
Is this an
yeah.
in-character discussion?
No.
No.
Okay. Like, out of character, magic doesn't really fall into the purview of any one single god. There's wizards who kind of do their own thing. There's no like god of magic that anybody who was born in this world
missed
would
the
be aware of.
You missed a whole conversation.
Octopus and can cure poison on an octopus.
Well,
Can
and
I
on
use
this
purified food and drink to make the sponge better?
Mm,
Make the whole bathroom just not dirty.
you can make it not make you sick if you drink it, but that doesn't necessarily make it good to drink. Like,
No, I know, but wouldn't it get rid of like mildew and fecal matter and things, you know?
you know what? I think the Galahadron's like a powerful enough thing. Yeah, you could probably do that. It'd take again a spell slot, but yeah.
not have like a washcloth that you keep on yourself?
I
that you
don't keep
can
a
use?
washcloth on myself.
Or
Absolutely
just
not.
like, I mean, pull your underwear off and use soap on those and use those as a rag, right?
I actually don't.
It's wild that Marrow would have a concept of underwear.
I don't know if Galahadron wears underwear. Honestly,
What?
I just like.
Oh,
I
he's
just
free
don't think
balling.
fairies
Okay.
wear underwater. I just don't think. I still think they do. Sorry, I might be getting a little silly. 'cause I'm getting
I
stupid, but
need
I
to
just don't.
know.
Uh,
I
I will also note, Alina, as you're at the blacksmith, if there's nothing you particularly want to do and you're just like, hey, I want to blow off steam, or just like, well, I've got all these bent nails. If you just want to straighten those nails, I won't charge you for the coal. Like,
I do have a question about metal scraps to ingots.
Mhm.
How does that
20.
work? So
22.
I have a bajillion. I have 48 metal scraps.
Yeah, and it takes 2 hours to do that, so you could just do that as part of your, you've got enough time between your long rest, 2 hours of work, and arriving if you want to make 2 metal ingots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just sit them back there and they're just like, okay, but I can let you borrow the forge. Let's see.
I'll also straighten those nails for you.
Yeah, if you straighten the nails, I won't charge you for the coal.
Perfect.
All right, deal. I give you a bucket of nails.
Hell yeah. She like strips off her armor and rolls up her sleeves and just has a moment.
All right. So let me let me manually do this on your character sheet then, because you're not buying anything. So you have 40 metal scraps. So I'm going to reduce that down to 8. And then you get 2 iron ingots. There you go.
Woo.
All right.
How many? What? Okay, so what is the exchange rate on iron ingots? Like to make an iron ingot into like the first thing I see is like a shovel. I don't know.
There's a whole there's a whole book filled with stuff.
Gonna make me
What?
read? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing. I will say 2 doesn't really get you to many like pieces of armor, but you can make like a flail is 2 ingots, one short haft, and one chain. But like a pike is 3 ingots and one long half. Like a rapier is 1 ingot, a scimitar is 2 ingots. I will also say this book has enchanting separated out as a different profession. In this world, a good enough blacksmith with magical materials can make magical things. The enchanting is just roll that into whatever the base profession is.
So when I start like say we have actual downtime and I like really buckle into this blacksmithing situation, um, will like I get experience? But do I have like a different experience bar for how good of a blacksmith I
No. So the way that the system works is that there are, depending on what you want to make, there's a list of ingredients that you need to do, crafting time, and that crafting time is every 2 crafts. And for making scraps into ingots, I'm not even gonna like that's like what is the check for that?
It's a DC 5. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's a DC 5. So you have enough strength plus proficiency that you're just automatically succeeding at that. But if you wanted to make like a +1 weapon, you need to have one weapon, you need to have a scroll of magic weapon, you need to have 2 common arcane essence, 2 uncommon arcane essence. Takes 8 hours. Every 2 hours you make a crafting check. The difficulty for a +1 weapon is DC 14. So you need to make 4 DC 14 crafting checks. Every one you fail, you lose the 2 hours of work, and you need to do it again. And if you fail, I think like 3 in a row, you like lose materials and such.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a whole thing, and you can make yourself better by your proficiency bonus going up. I don't think they're in this book, but I'm definitely going to allow there to be like you can find better tools that give you better bonuses and stuff to things. Uh,
Nice.
yeah,
Cool.
it's you can't have a crafting system and not have tool upgrades.
Yeah.
Like that's wild.
There are also feats that give you expertise in tools, so that
Yeah,
also will help. I'm planning on taking that probably next. I took the
I
they're
will
skill
probably take that
expert,
next.
and I'm probably gonna
yeah
take crafting expert next. And I'm probably gonna pick up cooking so I can make the food because it looks like that's good. There's some good buffs in there. I will note that with 2 ingots you can make bracers, which are useful because those are while you're wearing them and you're not using a shield. As a reaction to being hit by an attack, you can attempt to parry the attack with your bracer, adding a +2 bonus to AC against the triggering attack. So it's basically um, like you get a parry reaction, which is pretty useful to just kind of have for free.
And I don't use a shield.
Yeah. Um, and I was gonna ask Lev, so the bracers aren't technically they're not like a suit of armor, but they think they are counted like they're listed under armor.
yeah.
Would that count as me wearing armor for my unarmored defense feature?
No,
Okay, cool.
they're meant for monks, for
Okay,
monks or barbarians. Like that's the purpose of those.
okay. Then I will want a pair of those of bracers as well eventually. Actually,
Yeah.
I think I can just go to the blacksmith and
Okay.
buy bracers, which I will probably do.
I can just make them for you.
Yeah, but they're also good for you. So like, and
They're 15 gold.
I've
So
got money, so I'm just gonna buy them. Right? Unless you specifically want to make them for me.
Um, I mean, you can get them a lot faster if you just buy them, but she would also she's going to, I'm going to enjoy making things for people, but
Okay,
also
yeah,
at the same
okay.
time.
Yeah, I'll save the gold then. Like we can spend it on something else.
yeah, and bracers are 2 ingots, 4 hours of crafting time, which is 2 checks, and DC 13 for the check.
Good.
So I would also like to do some crafting before bed.
Okay.
Um,
Did I give you your all night? Yeah, you
you
got your
did,
all
yeah.
nighter feature. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, can you mute here? Because we're double. Yeah, thank you. Um, so how many hours do I have of work time, assuming I'm taking a regular rest and not doing an all-nighter?
Uh, you're taking a long rest or a short? Well, that depends on how much on when you're starting to do stuff tomorrow. Like you're not. This isn't you're on an adventure, and so you're pressed for time. Like you can make the
Oh,
visit
okay.
to Pinch Whistle Imports whenever you want.
Oh, okay.
Like unless you give me a we're on this strict timetable. You just tell me, all right, I spend this much time crafting.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I guess we'll still need
If
to
you
know.
don't take a long rest tonight, you will get a point of exhaustion.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess how much time do I have between now and when I gotta go to bed?
Uh,
I assume.
what would the usual bedtime? Like it's you've been on a boat. I don't know what your sleep schedule is. You got interrupted in the middle of the night. Like
Yeah.
that's those are your
Maybe.
things. You just need to sleep for 6
Yeah.
hours today.
All right. Well, maybe I'll just wake up and make an early morning of it. Um, so I'll head back to the inn after doing all of my shopping to get ready for bed, and I'll wake up in the morning and brew some healing potions.
Yeah.
Is there a bathhouse in this town?
Abel, you would know that yes, there is a bathhouse in the town.
Yes, there is.
I'm going to head to the bathhouse after my blacksmithing is done.
Galahad fighting for his life with this fucking sponge instead of going
Yeah,
to the bathroom.
somebody told me about the bathhouse.
So I'm gonna send Eilina ahead to the bathhouse, and I'm gonna head back to the inn to drop off the stuff. And I guess I'll catch Galahadrin
Facing off against the sponge.
facing off
It
against the
is
sponge.
it is 1 gold for the bathhouse.
That's fun.
There is no mechanical benefit.
1 gold each.
It's a bath.
1 gold each. Yes.
That is the mechanical benefit.
Yes,
Is
that's
I'm
a benefit,
fucking
not a mechanical
clean.
benefit.
All right, I'm gonna go. I think my headset's about to die, and I'm tired.
Okay.
That's
Good
all right,
night.
unless there's anything else.
I don't know. We still got like an hour 15 minutes of regular time. And I think yeah, but it depends on what you guys are planning to do the next morning.
I mean, I think we can just finish our crafting, and then we'll be ready for pinch whistle for the first thing we do next time.
Uh,
Does that sound?
did you want to do some preliminary stuff
Oh yeah,
at Pinch Whistle?
I do want to scout them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you should scout them out specifically because they might
Yeah.
take that as a it's 3, 2, 1 meet time. Like
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. But I can go.
Okay.
I don't think
You
they know
You can
me.
go while I'm crafting, or we can. And I'll send you and
Yeah.
Galahadrin.
Because Eilina wakes up like real early.
Okay.
So
So I will take Galahadrin to the bathhouse if you would like to go.
Yes.
question,
Minus
how do
a
we fix
dome.
this sleeping arrangement?
Fix it.
Let's
Looks
Yeah.
fine.
Galahadrin, there
It
are 5 of us,
yes.
and there's 2 beds.
Seems fine.
2 one-person beds, Galahadrin.
Who's
I scooted them together.
That makes a 2-person bed. There are 5 of us.
I'm gonna go down to the
I don't see the problem. We can just snuggle close. Snuggle close.
all right, fine. Galahadrin, look, you and I can share a room, and I'll go
Phelan
down.
and I always share a room.
I'll get Phelan and Eilina a room, and Marrow
And dirt.
and Dirt a room.
Oh,
So
they
I'll
don't
wait
need a
for-
room. They sleep in front of the doors.
Okay. Then I'll just get a room for Eilina and Phelan to share, and then you and I can sleep in the beds.
Go ahead,
Alright.
let's do a DC 15 persuasion check there, Abel. Oh yeah, they've got an extra room.
Okay.
And you've got again the money that your uncle gave you covers it. So
Yeah. I'm gonna pay for me and Galahadrin to go to the bathhouse, and then we're gonna go ahead and go back to the room and sleep together. Platonically.
okay.
As we like enter our rooms, Eilina looks over at Abel and she waggles her eyebrows.
He's gonna give a thumbs up.
Galahadrin steals all the blankets. I want you to know that.
That's okay. He's very warm to snuggle up with.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you guys do that for the night. Morning comes. Abel, you get to work with crafting, and who all is going to investigate the pinch whistle imports?
Me.
All right, just you.
Might as well.
Okay.
Guess I'll
Do
just
you want
die.
do you want Galahadrin with you too?
I will always take Galahadrin's company.
Yes.
And then is Parf still with us?
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could go to bed or if you still need me around. Or do you think that there was something
Would you,
relevant?
if they're just doing investigation and you want to like stay with Abel for whatever reason, and you want to head off, you certainly can. If you
Okay.
want to go with the investigation stuff, you also can.
Yeah, I
You.
don't have any
Can
plans
people
on
for
doing.
crafting
I
rolls?
mean,
Can you get assistance? Can like somebody take the help action and give you advantage? Is that a thing?
I think there's rules there for crafting stuff.
Yeah.
I forget what the rules on the assistant stuff is. I
because I
think you
don't,
need proficiency in the tool to assist,
Oh,
if
okay.
anything.
That makes
because
sense.
I don't think that Marrow's gonna be particularly good at scouting out things because like you're gonna see and know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, and there's things
Lurking
that Marrow
around.
could definitely help with like scent and stuff, but you don't have anyone that you're looking for. So
Hmm.
yeah. Plus, you're also very noticeable.
Yeah, it's like it's like if this is supposed to be, you're wearing a hat and an overcoat.
Yeah.
Marrow's dressed in all bright green.
I mean, it's Scooby Doo's gotten away with it sometimes, but
Okay. Yeah, so they
Alright.
do have to be proficient in the same tool in order to
yeah.
help. Okay, but I can take 10.
Mhm.
You can
Uh,
take 10.
Instead of rolling, you can just I get a 10, and then you just add 10 plus your whatever
Oh,
your
okay.
bonus is. Yeah.
oh, that means I could just craft healing potions. Okay.
Yeah. The easy thing should be easy.
Okay, so I don't need to roll for those. I can just make them.
Yep.
Okay, so
So I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there are other things that you would like to do that you think of, just send me messages.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, my headset's about to die, and I'm good.
Max sleepy.
Okay.
I'm
feeling it.
I'm sleep maxing, guys.
why
Oh
am
yeah.
I?
I've been going to bed at like 7 o'clock the last week,
Whoa.
Oof.
so not intentionally. Okay, I'll
Where
catch
did
you
all
guys
my
later.
stuff go?
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Where did all what stuff go?
My inventory.
It's looks like it's all still there.
Hang on, let me refresh.
All right, well, you figure that out. Aline and Galahadrin. Abel's able to give you directions to Pinch Whistle because his uncle told you roughly where it is. It is near. It is on the harbor, just across from the river, but like midway through Riverside. Like it's far enough up that you would barely be able to reach it with like some smaller boats, but easy access to the barges and such. Uh, just a decent sized establishment. Uh, it's just a sign outside that says, it's got uh, like a wrench and a gear, and pinch whistle above it. As you enter, you can see that there are some guards. They're tough-looking gnomes, if you can believe it. And they're sort of holding with them. They're definitely guards because they're standing there watching things, but they're holding these contraptions that are just like these long tubes covered in like gears and wires and various doohickeys and such. But as they come in, as you walk in, they sort of give you a slight nod, but otherwise stand there stoically, just sort of surveying everything. And there's all varieties of weird contraptions and doohickeys in this store. Just like there's some shelves in the middle of the room, but mainly it's just a big sort of horseshoe shape bend of a long counter across the three walls that are not the entrance, with display cases with all of these various metallic instruments, and devices in them, with even more just hung up on the wall behind them, and a few other gnomes and like little with more cheery smiley faces that sort of like wave at you as you come in, and they're talking with some customers that are coming in and out. There's like 5 other customers in here, but there are definitely some clerks who like wave at you, and they're free to help you as you come in.
What are the wares?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Can I assist?
You certainly can.
All right. Let me click the button.
Is there a way for me to add a pre-made item? Because I just made 2 greater healing potions.
I can give those to you.
Okay. So that will consume all of my curative essences that I got, so I will just remove those. Or curative reagents, I should say.
I dragged it onto your sheet, did it not? There we go.
There it goes, okay.
And then 2 of those.
Yep.
Okay, 25. You look, so Galahadrin, you have come across some devices, some oddities at your time at the summer court. Most of these you don't know what they are. There's a few things that you do see just sort of off on the wall on like a far end of the shop, just kind of out of a display. There are some swords made of like gleaming crystal or glass, or things, and they look like some some oddities, some weapons that you remember, some strange visitors or travelers that would. There were people that would come through the court, much like the Green Knight, that were just like brought in from other realms of existence to be like oddities and such.
Mhm.
And some things you don't know what they are, what they do. You notice that they look nice and they look like you've seen them before. Uh, and from that, you can probably surmise that most of these are weapons of some kind.
That makes sense.
Hello, sir. Hello. What can I do for you?
Oh, I was looking at your swords.
Oh yes, they're very nice. They're very rare. These glass ones are imported all the way from the Chittering Dunes.
Oh,
Yes.
why are they imported from the Chittering Dunes?
But look at that fine glasswork. No civilized person could do these. These are made by the bug people who dwell beneath the sands.
Oh,
They're very light and sharp, and they can slice through steel with ease, and are light as a feather.
oh, I see. Well, how much are they?
5,000 gold.
Oh, could I trade you a favor?
No.
Oh, really?
I... No?
Oh,
What about you, sir? Do you actually have money?
I do. I just I've heard great things about this establishment, and I wanted to see it with my own eyes.
Oh, yes, no, we are. It's good that our reputation is ballooning. We are a fresh new shop, only been here, we've been here a few years, but it's always promising to hear that our name is getting out. Yes, we have fine weapons all the way from Felmar, you see, and some of these are even. Oh boy, I do
Are
not
you
like.
are you
I do
all
not like
right,
that voice
sir?
register with the way my throat is right now. Comes out the wrong area of the pipe. Yes, no, our most popular instruments are these. These are simple to use firearms. The latest craftsmanship out of Felmar. Yes. Yeah, look, and they point over to a much more central case of display, and there are. You would have seen some of like you're from the duchies. There are weapons all over the place, but I'm not sure if you would have actually held or used them before. But they are what you can tell very primitive by our standards, but like early pistols and rifles and such.
Like a pepper box situation? Or
More like single shot pistols.
okay. Um, those are phenomenal. Do you have anything older?
Oh, we have some antiquities and displays over here where you can tell some of these glass blades. Who knows how old they are? The glass doesn't age. Some like how old? We're not really a museum or a historical thing. We specialize in the new and the innovative. Innovative.
I do love that. No, I realized I was slipping into Aerith's voice for a second. I'm very sleepy. Um, I just, oddities. I heard that you can get your hands on quite exquisite things here. And I just wanted to peruse.
Are you trying to make a persuasion check on him?
Yeah, what I'm trying to see is if there are potentially any more. I'm terrible at persuasion. I don't know why I keep doing this. I don't know why I keep talking. Um,
Because when Galahadron talks, he asks to trade 5,000 gold weapons for favors.
Well, no, a favor from the Prince of the Summer Court.
Yep.
That's huge.
Nope. Due to inflation, it is not.
I'm trying to see if there's any more of like
Yeah.
either them being actually in the shop or like maybe even like rumors of the items on our list.
Yeah. I will say from just Galahadron's good perception that you helped with, there's not like you don't see any religious items or relics. These are like new technology that is exciting because it's new and fresh and such, or oddities that aren't necessarily of a religious nature.
Like those balls that move on their own at the mall kiosks that have a weasel behind them, and it kind of makes it look like the weasel's chasing the ball.
Sure,
They
there's
just
like a
kind of made them
mechanical. Uh,
because they could.
you know what?
Is
Yeah,
this a
they do have
Fushigi
they do
store?
have a mechanical weasel that is just like on a little. It's like in the middle of the display room, and it's just like a small little ring with like a small weasel-sized fence around it, and it's just rolling a ball around the thing, just like this mechanical, just clockwork weasel. Sure.
Galahadron tries to pet the weasel.
The weasel keeps on whizzing past you. Go ahead and make an attack roll, but not an attack roll, just to see if you can touch it.
Oh,
It's zipping around.
all right.
It's not stopping. No, it zips past you. You're trying to catch it, and you just can't.
Mm.
Alina, what were you?
Well, with that, I wouldn't. I'm just going to simply peruse, sort of check exits. Um,
It looks like there is an entrance. There are 3 walls lined with shelves, and the wall furthest from the entrance has doors on either side that lead into as people come in and out, like a back room.
okay, and there are how many clerks on the floor?
There's like 7 clerks on the floor, 2 guards at the door.
Okay. I'm just gonna do a regular old casing.
Yeah.
Like
Again, vet 25 perception. There's not much else to see besides all the whirling, gizmos and guns on display and such. There's a crest of Felmar like in the corner that you would know is like, hey, this is an officially licensed merchant that's like, free to do business here. Like there's nothing shady that you see. There's no additional points of egress. It's a very like, hey, here's the show floor, here's the exit, here's the entrance. Ah.
okay, well yeah. Uh, uh to make I don't wanna to make it look a little more I guess I'll buy a I'd never use my crossbow. Um um do we need a hooded lantern team? I'm trying to figure out something to buy here so it doesn't look like we're weirdos. Other
Oh, they
than the
don't.
fact that Galahadron did in fact just say he would trade a favor
You know
for
what? They're the weirdos for saying they wouldn't accept a favor. That's a
I
blank check.
agree. 100%. It's very ill-mannered of them. However, we should probably buy something to make it.
Ask about the weasel.
How much is the weasel?
Oh well, the weasel's not necessarily for sale. It's just it's a display of our, our founder's handy clockwork and such. If you'd like a weasel made for you, I can definitely ask him what the price would be.
What other clockwork items does your
Oh, well, for those are custom orders. You can make whatever small little thing we would like, and just how big you want. Just depends on the gold you're willing to spend. What kind of devices are you interested in? Are you looking for something entertaining like the weasel, something recreational like a game or a clock, or are you looking for something purposeful like a handy tool in the kitchen or for making menial work quicker?
what do you mean by menial work?
Oh well, I think that I've seen him fulfill some orders for machines where you put in a vegetable on one end and it comes out fully sliced on the other.
That's
Whoa.
incredible.
Yes, if you would believe it, he even did it to bread.
Whoa,
Whoa.
whoa.
Sliced bread, that'll never
Pretty
take off.
cool.
Yes, no.
um, Abel said he was a. Did you say that you were wanting to get into cooking to us, or was that you to
No,
us?
that
Like,
was me out of character, yeah.
okay. Um, I am simply overwhelmed by all the many wonderful items. How much would
Can
it
you
be for like a pocket watch?
Uh, do, do, do.
Or like a compass?
Yeah, no, I'm looking. Well, navigator's tools are on there for 25 gold. Uh, those things I think are.
they
Let's see,
look breakable.
tinkering pocket watch.
But that's navigator's tools by that's for the sea.
Yeah, but that's still like a compass. Well, it's compass and other things. Pocket watch would be 150 gold.
God damn.
Sometimes a
Um,
store
Like
has
if
too
you're
high
just looking for
prices.
something simple, and he goes and gets pulls out a small very small tiny wind up soldier knight that just he
Ooh.
turns a crank on the back and it takes 5 steps and then stops.
Whoa. I like this one.
10 gold.
All right, I'll take it.
Okay, very well. Uh, add
Truly
clockwork
incredible.
toy knight to your inventory.
I will. Let me just do money management.
Yeah, it's a pleasure doing business with you. If that thing satisfies you, but you're looking for something bigger, then definitely come back.
Absolutely, and I will be telling everyone I know about this place. This is wonderful.
Glorious. And remember, Pinch Whistle Imports, best craftwork in Felmar.
I will. And she pushes Galahad out the door.
It's a good soldier. At least we have that. We might have to go find the chittering bug people, though.
Would you like a glass blade?
Looks cool.
So just to sort of give you guys some reference. Uh, so the Chittering Dunes are all the way you guys are here. Chittering Dunes are all the way here.
I would love to see that reference. It's still loading.
Okay.
Mountains are involved.
Ah, yes.
Pretty far.
Mountains and the Lost Woods and a giant river and a mountain that you wouldn't know this, but Abel and Alina would vaguely know is inhabited by dragon riders. So,
Extremely awesome. It only makes me want to go over there more.
yep.
Is Bazgaiath College over there?
Is what? No.
Bazgai.
I had that concept way before I read that book.
I know, but the joke had to be made.
Yeah.
If Alina dies, I will be playing a Drake Warden
From Bezgaeth.
from
Okay.
Bezgaeth.
You could talk about the parapet.
I could. We're gonna go report back to Abel.
Yes.
Okay.
We got this toy soldier.
Oh wow, how does that work?
I don't know. Clocks, I guess. Tiny pieces of metal.
Hmm.
Everything there is very expensive.
That
Yes,
is
I
true.
imagine so. But you got the layout of the place?
Yeah. I explained everything we learned.
Okay. So I guess I spent the whole day crafting potions, which I'll hand out next time when everybody's here. And then, uh, or, because I also bought a potion bandolier, so should I just hold on to the potions and distribute them when they're needed, or?
That is up to you. You'd be done doing all your crafting and stuff by 10 a.m. So,
Oh wow, okay.
because eight hours of crafting, uh, and 6 hours of sleep, so 8 plus 6 is that's 14, right?
Yeah.
So 14 plus 7, which is when you started, is 14 plus 7 is 21, which would be by 10 a.m. Yeah, it'd be by 9, but I'm giving you a little bit of wiggle room. So like they wouldn't be back until like 9. The
Okay.
the store wasn't open until like it'd be about 10.
Okay, so it's 10 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I spent some time crafting and then I went to sleep and then I got up and crafted some more. Okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna take the shield. I'm gonna put it in the bag of holding, and I'm gonna gather the team, including Phelan, hopefully, and uh, be like, "All right, team, uh, we've got a plan. We're gonna stick to it. We're gonna come out of this just fine, and get set up, inspiring leader, and then I guess next time we'll start off with me walking in and doing the deal, and then go from there. Does that sound good?
Yeah, we can do that. And then Phelan would have joined you by this time. Sure.
Okay. That way Marrow can go to sleep as well.
Yep.
Oh, she already has. Never mind.
Oh, she's long gone.
Yeah.
Uh, who all is going to have the meeting? Is it just you or is it everybody?
I was just gonna have me and have Eilina basically burst in, be like, nobody expects the Trinity Inquisition.
Okay, so let's just go a bit further
Okay.
then for tonight to get to a better stopping place. So you bag of holding, shield in it. You go to pinch whistle. How close is everybody else? Like this is a solid it's a solid row of houses, and there's not really like back alleys or side entrances. Uh, there's
I
no
mean,
back alleys or side
if
entrances.
if it is a just an open floor, right? Like they could be in the store even, like browsing,
Yeah,
right?
they could. Yeah.
Do you guys want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you stagger yourselves? Do you all come
Oh
in at the
yeah,
same time?
absolutely.
Okay. All right. So people come back stagger, and it's like, oh, hello again. Is there something else that catches your eye? They strike up conversations with Alina and Galahadran, Phelan, I assume. Marrow, maybe. We'll see. They can make that choice. And as you, I imagine you're the last one to come in, then, after
Yes.
everybody else is staggered.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you come in. You're greeted again. It's a pretty busy day. It is rest day, which is like the weekend, for this town. So there's people coming and going, uh, just doing shopping work here, and they're buying, clockwork toys and oddities and small guns and such. They're like, "Oh, hello, sir. What can I do for you?"
Hello, I'm here on behalf of my uncle, Lord Whitewater. I believe you have an item for him.
Ah, yes, yes. No, we've been expecting here. Come to the back with me. And he sort of takes you over to a place at a counter where, like, the table flips up and you can walk through the back.
Okay.
Leads you into the back. It's a little storeroom with more inventory and such. A small table where like a gnome is clenched over just doing some light repair work on like the weasel or something. Uh, Takes you to the back of the storeroom, pushes aside a large shelf that moves a lot more easily than you would expect it to, lifts up a trapdoor and says, "After you, good sir."
Thank you. And I guess I'll descend into the trapdoor.
Okay.
Does he follow me?
Nope. You go down a short tunnel, and at the end of it, there is a gnomish lady who is flanked by some more guards, and she's like, "Ah, yes, a special customer. Wait, gnome. Ah, yes, a special customer. What can I do for you, good sir?"
I believe you have an order for my uncle. Yes?
And that would be.
Um, did he give me a piece of paper or something with the...
No, he just pointed you down the trapdoor.
No, my uncle though, right? Did he give me... I
No,
guess...
no,
No?
he just gave you the bag.
Hmm. I guess I'll reach into the bag and see if when I inventoried the bag, I didn't have like a bill of sale or anything, right?
No.
I wasn't privy to the details of the transaction. He just asked me to come and pick it up and deliver the payment.
What was his name?
Monty Whitewater?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, no, come with me. And can you see? Oh wait. Brr. Sorry, but I had you on here. So they lead you through. Uh, Let me know when you can see the map.
Maybe we should have all gone together. Fun
Maybe
fact.
we should have, yeah.
Yep, and they're like, "Here, follow me." And the guards just sort of nod as you walk by and stay at their posts.
I don't have any way to signal my companions, do I?
No, you do not.
Other than me walking out.
They stop here. They click on a button in the wall, and a short bridge drops over the pipe, and they walk over it. And after you go, she pushes another button that you can barely see concealed in the wall, and the bridge retracts. There you go. As you walk by these gnomes here, on the docks as you walk by, there are gnomes. What you look at first and see, you think they're gnomes in armor, but as you watch them, their movements are much more just like jerky and shaky, like Galahadron's little clockwork toy. And their faces, just every part of them visible is metal. And there's two that are sort of standing on either side of the doorway. They're just like staring forward, just like jerking erratically every now and then, as you can hear a constant whirling and grinding of gears inside of them. They're like, yes, Master Pinch Whistle, we'll see you. We'll see you now. He's been expecting you."
Okay.
They
Guessing this is the door.
open the door, and it's like, "Ah, and you must be Sir Whitewater." As you see a gnome in sort of artificer's garb standing in an office. Sitting on a couch to the side is a priest who is dressed in old-fashioned robes of Felmar, and sort of looks at you and just nods at you, and it's like, "Ah, well then, now that you're here, we can conduct business." And that's where we're going to end it.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
damn.
I'm guessing by the old robes you mean this guy is from the Regency?
Most likely, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. pause the recording then.